Hey there, Attack on Titan fans! Welcome to another episode of the Attack on Titan After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we are talking about episode 30, Historia. Is this probably the greatest love story we might get in the show? Who knows? But we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I'm just kind of waiting for the day somebody on YouTube decides to cut together the scene of Ymir jumping off the tower,
right,
with Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You."
I was thinking you were gonna go Titanic. Like I was thinking you were gonna.
You know what?
Celine
It did
Dion.
occur to me earlier today that that would also be
My heart
fitting.
will go on. That's the name of the song. I'm
just waiting for it. If somebody wants to get on that, feel free to tweet it at us as soon as possible.
Sure, perfect.
But hey there, Attack on Titan fans. Welcome to another episode of the Attack on Titan After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're talking about episode 30, Historia. Let me go ahead and introduce my fantastic panel. To my left, Emma Fyffe.
That's me, Emma Fyffe. I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at my name, Emma Fyffe.
To her left, Katie Cullen.
Sorry, I'm too busy watching the really cool scene on the opening that's playing
It's
up
so
there.
good.
Yeah.
Hi, all my buddies. You can find me all over the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet.
And I'm rocking out over here. I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Sadly, Alexis Torres cannot be here with us tonight.
She's on a plane.
She's off fighting
Titans.
She's on a plane. Yeah, she's off on a secret mission attacking
Hopefully there
Titans.
are no snakes on that plane.
I'm sorry. That would be the worst. That would be the literal
terrible.
worst. But yeah, she decided to go off on a trip, and she surprised everybody by turning into a Titan, and it made things really awkward for everyone.
Yes. If you've got fun stuff to say, we have a hashtag on Twitter, ABTVTitan, and we also have the live chat on YouTube. And I think my favorite thing in the live chat right now is, apropos of nothing, Andrew Fedge saying the Colossal Titan would be played by Billy Zane.
Sure.
Oh my God!
I'm in. I see
I'm
it.
down.
I see it.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
haven't seen as lovely a resemblance actually since Willem Dafoe and Ryuk. So, which is the only thing I'm looking forward to.
The one redeeming quality of the upcoming live-action Death Note. But I would actually totally watch that. Did anybody see Demon Knight? Billy Zane, when he wants to, plays a fantastic villain.
I'm just a Kingdom Hearts fan. I am aware of the Billy Zane.
Of the Billy Zane's power to play villains.
Submit! Okay, God.
It's the best. So speaking of kind of things we're reminiscent about in terms of Titanic and things like that, this episode starts off with a flashback to when they're still at the academy.
This episode is 50% flashback.
It
It's
is
like
literally
watching Arrow.
It is, but let me tell you guys, I have to say, I was really happy with the very first part of this flashback because you know who is in it, who we have not seen once this entire season. It was Jean. We saw him for like 2 seconds. He had one line.
Did you notice they're like, we're going to go back out. We're going to save our teammates. The only 2 people who didn't go with them, Annie, Jean.
Yeah.
That was really upsetting. And then you see Jean for a hot second too when Krista's flashing back to when Ymir was clearly forcing her to drink alcohol.
Yes.
Just kind of
Hazing.
To me, that looked like fun. Forcing
that
to
is
drink alcohol.
absolutely drinking
looked
in
like
college.
hazing.
Like drink,
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
But yeah, no, Jean's heart. He's been MIA this entire season so far.
No.
He's
been
been
really
sipping
upsetting.
tea and eating
He's
diamonds.
my favorite fancy boy, and I just want him to come back. I was really glad to see him for 3 seconds in this episode.
I hope that, before we get into this episode, I hope that, like, coming up soon, since we're getting reacquainted with a lot of other characters, it looks like in the next episode, that he will show up again. Here's hoping. But kind of focusing on what we do see here. We have training exercises in the snow. These poor kids were walking in the snow for 9 hours as part of their exercise.
Well, yeah, if you stop, you die.
Which
I guess.
I actually, upon first watching this, I was really upset with them. I'm like, how easy, like, how hard is it to lose, like, to keep an eye on your teammates and make sure, it's not like they were going at a quick pace. Like, how hard is it to keep an eye on everybody? But then I actually thought about it, and actually a friend of mine hiked up Mount Whitney during in a time where they thought the weather was going to be good, and it wasn't. And their group got separated. And you would think it'd be easy to stay together with everybody, but their group got separated. And it was a pretty bad situation. Everybody made it out okay. But I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? I should cut them some slack. Things happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, and I mean, yes, they are hiking through the snow and dragging along the body of an extremely injured teammate who I'm still not entirely sure how he managed to survive that.
Freaking Daz.
Yeah.
Magic.
Daz of all people.
I'm gonna go with body heat because being held in a Titan's
Sure,
fist is...
sure, that makes sense.
There you go.
But yeah, but at the same time, it's like, okay, yes, they were around wandering outside, and once you do get separated in like a snowstorm situation, it is very difficult to find one another. And on top of that, it's like we find out that like Krista really was going out there to nobly commit suicide.
Now, here's the
And
question.
drag someone else down with her.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
here's
you're
the
already
thing.
a goner. We'll all die together.
Is that what she was actually trying to do? Like, is she even aware that that's sort of what maybe subconsciously she was doing? Emir points it out, but it could also be that Krista was just genuinely trying to do something good and was too stubborn to ask for help.
I'm definitely, given her backstory
Yeah.
and everything, I'm definitely going to go with everyone will be happier if I'm dead, so I'm just going to do it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I completely agree with Katie on this point.
I'm going to be noble. I'm
Yeah.
going to be, everyone will remember me as doing, dying, doing something heroic.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not being noble, it's looking noble.
Sure, and again-
because if she'd handed the dead weight off to Emir, Emir's bigger and stronger and probably, and
She'd
she's
probably
also a
make it.
Titan, but there's no way she could have known that.
Right.
No. And probably would have had a much better chance of getting him to safety.
Totally.
Or even
It was
working
the pragmatic,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the pragmatic choice, but she chose not to do that.
Yeah,
And
I agree. It's like if she were legitimately trying to help this person, because in her mind, it's like obviously she does not know that Ymir is a Titan at this point, and on top of that, it's like he's already pretty dead, and they're kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere in the snow. There's not a very good chance that this guy is going to survive. So from her point of view, this is the perfect opportunity to, again, like, commit suicide under the guise of
It was an
having been
accident.
attempting to do something really good for this person, like drag him somewhere to like where he could get help. But she was never going to make
She
it
died
anywhere.
saving a teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, again, anybody in like boot camp or in any portion of the military in this world, you kind of have to get used to like that as a reality of
Sure.
the world that they live in, especially for the Survey Corps. But like, yeah, even the instructors were like, "Look, we're not going to send anybody out there in the middle of the night as the
Right.
storm's getting worse. No, that's a terrible idea. We'll wait till morning."
Yeah, and I mean, she absolutely
when we're
knew that.
sure they're dead.
Yeah, when we're absolutely sure
Yeah.
that we don't have to rush.
And again, it's like she definitely knew that, and the fact that she specifically, when Ymir brings up the thing of like, well, either just he's gonna die or all three of us are gonna die, she's like, no, you didn't bring up the scenario where you just go ahead and you're fine. She's
Yeah.
not like where you take him and maybe you guys make it and I don't.
Like that's not even
Yeah.
something she brings up. She's
No.
like, "Oh yeah, you go on ahead. We'll be fine. I'll just
Yep.
freeze to death and it'll
Yep.
be cool.
Yep.
It's totally fine." Yeah, she doesn't even bring like her Emir helping up as a possibility. I will give Krista a little bit of credit where she might have felt like even asking Emir might not have done it. Because Emir, she's got a very rough around the edges personality. That being said, if this person's life is at stake, you ask anyway.
yeah.
If you don't ask, then you are purposely being stubborn and obstinate. For
Well,
sure.
and that's absolutely what she was doing. This
Yeah.
was suicide by good deed.
But in this interaction, we also get a little bit, we're getting like little nuggets of Krista's backstory, like here and there. We find out that she's the daughter of a noble. So that could mean a number of things, but definitely a noble person's bastard daughter, which is one of the reasons why she was sent away, but they're still keeping an eye on her.
And her options were either die or change your name and live a very small life. And she
Yeah.
went with the still living bit, what I loved was watching Ymir's facial expressions when she overheard that, and then we got the close-up. So my question is that just sympathy for, oh, someone else is just as hosed as I am, I must needs look out for them? Or does Ymir know more than she's letting on? Because we don't know how she became a Titan, why she became a Titan, anything.
We really don't know anything about Ymir's backstory at all, except that she obviously went through a rough time where she was like stealing stuff. This feels very like Kyoko and Madoka. And she's like, because she's like hiding out in the church and stealing things. You know what I mean?
Borrowing.
Yeah.
Borrowing things
I know,
to
I love
live.
that that's how they translated it. I was just like, well, when I was borrowing things to live, and you're like, you mean borrowing permanently without exchanging any money?
with every intention.
With
to
an
return.
itemized receipt of all the stuff that you're taking.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then she over here, exactly. It's like, other than we know that she had some rough times, and she also knows about who Krista really is, even though she doesn't know her real name. Like, she knows that there's some
more to
trouble
it,
going on there.
And she wasn't even sure that Krista was the one that they were talking about. You know, she
that is true.
assuming. Now here's the thing. As we know, anybody pretending not to be a Titan, probably not necessarily the most honest of individuals.
Sure.
And earlier this season, we were theorizing that she was actually a spy for the Order of the Wall. If she's telling the truth here, that might not necessarily be the case. So what I see here in this conversation is her either basically coming clean to the audience that she's not a spy for them, but found out about it through random happenstance and decided to go and reach out and try to find this person because she empathized with her situation, or she is withholding a little bit of the story and actually did become a spy for the Order of the Wall and volunteered after finding out this information. What do you guys think that this could go either way, or are you guys leaning one way or another?
I honestly have no idea. It's a coin flip.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is one of the things that keeps Attack on Titan really compelling, is the fact that at this point you really don't know what anybody's about, except for like Eren, who's still pretty dumb and incompetent.
And you get a revelation, and then you roll back through like 15 episodes and go,
Yeah.
wait, so when they were doing this, that means, oh my God.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm absolutely certain of at the end of this episode is that like Krista and Ymir definitely do really care for each other on some level.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to go the ship route, but
me
if somebody
too.
wants
Listen.
to say that it's just a deep kinship, that's fine too.
That's
But
fine.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, you're entitled to your
You're
opinion.
entitled to your opinion, even when your opinion is clearly wrong.
But I love too that when Ymir kind of reveals that she's pretty sure she knows who Krista is, and you know Krista has that conversation with her, and she's like, "Oh, so you joined the Survey Corps to meet me?
You wanted to be my friend,
or you became a cadet to meet me?" Yeah.
And she's like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's fine.
Chad is having a really good time talking about Krista Snow and Historia Targaryen. And also a little bit about Reiner.
Oh, right.
Talking about his crazy reflexes.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And that I had a moment too when he like grabbed Krista by the ankle when she was falling, where I was like, is he about to like throw her over the cliff because he thinks that she's like in
league
cahoots
with
Ymir?
the Titan.
Ymir
he
ate their friend.
Right, who he and Bertold now realize definitely is the one who ate their friend.
Yeah, for a moment, I thought he was gonna break her leg.
Yeah.
like whether like intentionally or unintentionally. I was assuming that like with that far off stare that it could have it was going to be an accident.
Yeah.
But you guys do bring up a good point. In that moment, like we see like a straight up PTSD flashback for him, and it manifests itself in a very aggressive way that we don't typically see from Reiner because he's so, you know, selfless and all about protecting the people around him because that's what his friend did for him. And so I'm wondering how this, you know, they're in a life and death situation right here. There's not really much they can do, but how does this revelation affect their future relationship with Ymir?
I don't know
Her
because
relationship with the Survey Corps is tanked. She's been a Titan for how long?
And
who knows?
And it's already like she wasn't like one of the inner buddies. You know what I always felt like there was a certain amount of like, what is with that weird girl? Like we mostly think she's okay because like Krista's cool with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, but it's not like Ymir went around making friends.
No, not at all. I'm curious though, because one of the big revelations for them in this episode is the fact that when Ymir is down there in her Titan form and she's fighting off the Titans, that she's very concerned about the tower falling.
Yes.
So they realize, they're like, oh no, she is trying to protect us because she very easily could just knock the tower over.
Yeah.
If she didn't care.
Or she could just bolt.
Sure.
She could just use her ability
just leave.
to be like, okay, peace out,
Yeah,
Titans.
because she's clearly like faster and smarter than the Titans they're up against.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I feel like that's what she should have done after the tower had fallen. Like, we're down, we're good. Okay, keep holding on. We're getting the hell out of Dodge.
But she didn't,
because she's
fast.
fast.
But she wouldn't leave Krista behind.
No, I mean, like, once they were all off the tower, because we have the
Yeah.
whole grab onto me if you want to live, all you have to say is keep holding on and then make a break for it.
Yeah.
I guess you get overconfident after you drop a tower on a bunch of Titans.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah, I
pretty
agree.
awesome cinematic sequence
It
in
was a
which
good sequence.
she like not ran, but she like climbed around the edge of the tower throwing out giant bricks to crush Titans. That was pretty cool.
It was pretty
And those
rad.
bricks were Titan hand size. Those were
Yeah.
some huge bricks.
Yep. Well, if that castle was haunted, it's certainly not anymore.
Or it's more haunted.
Right. It's just full of
Depending on how you look at it.
Titan ghosts.
I love that the relationship between Krista and Ymir is basically, you're not allowed to die, you bitch.
Kinda.
I love it.
The most sassy that we've seen Krista the entire
I
series.
and this is the thing, like I've always liked Krista as a character. I'm like, she doesn't come across as like one of those like annoying, sweet little sister kind of girls to me. I was like, no, there's more to her. I think.
there was like a genuine, sincere
Yeah,
sweetness
yeah.
to
She
her.
made it into the top 10, didn't she?
She did.
Thanks to Ymir.
Thanks to Ymir. But still.
But
nonetheless.
the thing that was really appealing about her, for one, she is cute. But the thing that was really appealing about her in season 1 was every other character's reaction to her. Of Ymir going like, oh, I'm going to marry you someday. This is so great. And everybody else being like, she's an angel.
Yeah.
Gonna marry that girl.
Without her being obnoxious about
Right,
it. 'Cause
yeah.
in a lot of other shows, like characters react that way to a person, and then the audience just can't stand her. But that was never the case with Krista.
Yeah, I totally agree. But then in this episode, it's like not only did we get more of her backstory and a little bit of a revelation of who she actually is, which then it's like amazing that she is who she is in spite of all of that. And it
Yeah.
hasn't made her like jaded and angry.
Just suicidal.
Yeah, just suicidal.
Well, I'm wondering at what point
Yeah.
in their relationship / their time in the academy, I'm wondering at what point this actually happened because it puts their conversation with Sasha in a different light as well. When in that flashback where Amir's like, "Hey, why are you pretending to be somebody you're not?"
Oh my
and
God.
Krista stands up for her, going, "She can be whoever she wants."
That I feel like
That's a good
that
point.
I feel like this scene where they're dragging Daz through the snow. That's his name, right? Daz.
Daz.
Who cares?
The dead weight.
He did nothing in
Yeah.
the Battle of Trust, guys. He was useless.
Except he survived this snow thing.
Ymir is absolutely right. He's not cut out to be a soldier.
She's right. No, she is right. But I feel like this conversation happens after that confrontation with Sasha, because to me, that's kind of impetus for Ymir to be like, stop pretending to be somebody you're not. You know,
Yeah.
you like basically throwing Krista's own words back in her face.
That's a good point.
You know?
I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
feel
wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah, I feel like it could definitely be Ymir throwing her own words back at her, or it could be Krista more confident in their relationship and like where she stands, being like, "Hey, quit ragging on other people for trying to make themselves better."
Yeah, sure. But I do think that, you got a chance in this episode too to see Krista, like to see this really like brave and intuitive or that's not the word I'm looking for, like inventive side of her, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like she's realizing that Ymir is protecting the tower, she could easily run away, or she could tear the tower down and potentially crush all the Titans that are attacking us with this tower. And so she's the one who's like yelling at her, like, tear the tower down! Don't try to protect it!
Well, it's an interesting...
in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
It's an interesting parallel, for one, because it's Krista throwing Ymir's words back at her from that day.
Right.
But two, it's also a very similar conundrum because Ymir basically told her, she's like, look, you can drop Daz and he'll have a chance of surviving, and we definitely will. Or, you know, you guys could stay out here and freeze to death. But if you drop him and we just go now, there's a chance he could live, and we definitely will. I like those odds. And, and so seeing Ymir do everything she can to not knock down the tower, you know, it's again, it's a wonderful parallel to that situation where tearing down the tower would be like, this is a way, like, statistically speaking, there's a way better chance of you surviving if you just tear this thing down.
Yeah.
And then we have Kelly Jones in chat saying, can we talk about the fact that Ymir can speak in her Titan form?
Well, I mean, that again, like, and they bring it up in the episode too, which kind of goes back to this idea of, in this scenario, yes, of course, Ymir knows she's a Titan. In the scenario of her her scaling down the wall, carrying Daz and Krista, again, definitely knew she was a Titan.
Definitely.
However, we still are unsure if she knew that
What
she
she was
was a
doing.
Titan back in the days of Naming, Bertold, and Reiner's friend. We still aren't sure if she was aware of her transformation at that point, because it's like, we know that Eren, when he first transformed, did not know.
He went bug nuts.
Right. So Ymir clearly, at this point in her life, has had enough experience with her Titan form that she has a good amount of control
She
over
has
it.
a decent understanding.
Right.
Which, again, is so interesting, especially considering Bertolt and Reiner's age when this happened. Like, they were kids, and she was a Titan. So at what point in her life did she become a Titan?
Right.
And who did this to her?
And does she age?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a good question.
Well, and I'm thinking about Eren when he, you know, his father clearly experimented on him.
Right,
he was,
like
what,
as a child.
10?
Yeah,
he was
as
10?
a small child.
Is this like sort of an Evangelion situation where they're like, anybody over the age of 14 we can't use?
Yeah.
Like, let's just experiment
gotta
on
get 'em while they're
children.
young.
and
Shinji,
figure
get in
it
the Titan. It's made out of you instead of your dead mother.
out. Oh, that series. But no, I
There's just
mean,
this list of top
what
10
if-
terrible anime dads.
Oh,
they all have
we've definitely
experimenting
talked
on their
about that.
children
Yeah,
in
Aaron's
common.
dad is in that. Yep, Aaron's dad, Shinji's dad, Professor Tomoe, all of them have experimented on their children.
I'm sure they're-
the list goes on.
Father.
I'm sure they're
and
all in a
Hohenheim.
club
Oh, yeah.
together too.
Oh, yeah.
They meet up at a conference every
like
year.
an evil dads club.
I would watch the shit out of that show, by the way.
I'd put Gendo at the top because iconic.
Yeah. They're all terrible human beings, though, let's be honest. But like, just to add another layer to it, what if Aaron's dad is the one that did this to her? Because clearly experimenting on kids isn't outside of his, like, moral compass.
And the question is why, and is he working with
And
someone,
he's a
and
doctor,
where did he go?
and he would leave to go on travel a ton.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sure a possibility, and definitely given the fact that we know that at least at some point in her life, we're not sure when or for how long, Ymir kind of fell on hard times. If she was like an orphan kid in like a Fagin gang kind of situation,
gonna miss her.
Yeah.
And there are there's an entire OVA talking about Levi's backstory
Right.
as an orphan. There are tons of orphans in this world, and an entire
What happens
why.
when the population's all getting eaten by giant sexless
and there's
people.
an entire like criminal underbelly that we haven't even touched on in the series proper.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I don't know, there could be some black market, you know, human trafficking in terms of like strictly for science experiments going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, anyway, so to kind of get back to what we know for sure is going on here, I do want to touch on just a little bit, just because we get a little bit of our initial main characters back in both the flashback and at the very end where we have our Deus Ex Mikasa, which I feel like every Deus Ex Machina should be a Deus Ex
Mikasa.
now.
I
Yeah,
agree.
absolutely.
I totally agree.
I love that just seeing Aaron, what we mostly got from that was, God damn it, Aaron.
I mean, to me, that was amazing because
So shonen
because
protagonist.
because the thing is about that I've always really enjoyed about this show, and the thing that I really, really, really disliked about the live action movie is the handling of Mikasa's character.
Yes.
Because Mikasa is just literally really good at her job. She's always portrayed as being like the smartest and the strongest and the best when it comes to fighting Titans. You know, she's easily
she
the
didn't
top
need
of
a
her
man
class.
to make her that way.
She sure did. She didn't need to get abandoned by a man. She just needed to have
Just
her
her
parents
parents.
murdered in front
She
of her.
didn't need to get abandoned by a man and then hook up with another man to
Yeah,
make.
with not Levi.
With not
It's so
Levi.
weird, guys. The live action movies are weird. Don't watch them.
But anyway,
Or
Take
if
your
you're gonna
advice on that, because I haven't.
Or if you're gonna watch them, make sure lots of whiskey
Yeah,
is on.
I'm sure they're very entertaining if you're very drunk. That would be a great How Did This Get Made? Anyway,
I've always really enjoyed that she is very much this, strong figurehead. And, I've made it very clear on the show that I do not care for her being with Aaron. I don't really think that Mikasa needs a romantic attachment. She's just really great on her own. But that being said, it's like, even still, they portray her as being a lot more capable than Aaron.
Well, and here,
Well, that's not difficult.
He's still, as I said, he's still really dumb and incompetent.
I mean, in the Battle of Trost, he was in it for about 30 seconds before he lost his leg.
Yeah.
and
then his
like,
life.
and you see that bravado though. It's kind of nice to go back to a little bit to seeing him with that bravado that he had before everything went to hell. Because like he's getting ready to lead a charge out there when the administrators refuse to go and send a search party until morning. And the thing he says is, guys, you should listen to the administrators. You'll freeze to death and become casualties. But
I'm the shonen
protagonist, am immune to such treatment.
We have established that I cannot die. Or at least I think I can't. I don't freaking know.
So it was on the one hand, it's very endearing to see that side of Aaron again, just even for a hot second. But at the same time, it's like, man, you are really lucky that Ymir chose to turn into a Titan, or you all probably would have frozen to death.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, you also see a lot of the camaraderie that this group really does have with each other.
Sure, yeah.
They all with the exception of Annie and Jean, they all volunteered to go out and try to find Krista.
I know.
Although that's 100% because they're like, I gotta find my future wife.
I know. That was a
I
really
would like to think that John was already
Well,
asleep.
even Sasha was like, I brought extra snacks for everyone.
know.
And you know how she feels about sharing
Snacks,
food.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was a really, really cute scene.
And poor Marco.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh, Marco.
I remember you. You're
Marco,
dead.
you sweet summer child.
Real quick, we're getting manga spoilers in the chat.
Shoot.
Stop that.
Guys, I
There's
thought
nothing
I was
massive,
good.
but stop that.
I thought I was good after a few episodes, but guys, yes, I will have to continue doing it at the top of every episode then. Yeah, guys, no manga spoilers in the chat or in the comments, please. Not everybody has read this portion of the manga, and to be honest, the people who have, we haven't finished the manga, so we really appreciate it if you guys don't leave any spoilers and keep the discussions to this episode and this episode alone. That would be super. Thank you guys. We love your enthusiasm though. We absolutely keep up that enthusiasm. Just keep the spoilers out. But yeah, we have that wonderful bit with Marco, that poor boy, that sweet cinnamon roll who was too good for this world.
Yep.
So it was nice to see him again for a hot second. There he is, and there he goes. A lot like his military career. But with
I was gonna make the 30,000 pounds of bananas joke, but no, that's better.
With them which makes me feel really bad for, Gelger and Nanaba. If they had just held out for a little bit longer, help was just around the corner.
Yeah, then Mikasa could have shown up and saved them too.
Saved the
Again,
day.
that was such a great moment because Ymir had just had that really triumphant moment of knocking out all the Titans, but then it turned out maybe not so much. And then Krista's like, I'm going in. She just charges in there.
And then
no
has this
weapons,
moment
no
of,
gear.
I regret this decision.
That
a
was
lot.
not smart. I need to tell you my real name. Which, by the way, Historia is a really dumb name.
It is a what? I know. At first I was like, oh, Historia, the name of the episode. That makes perfect sense. It's all pretty much a flashback, and there's some implications, of course, that Krista is actually straight up part of a royal family. It's beyond just rich people.
Is she a Disney princess?
So to me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a fancy Historia, and then I was like, oh, that's her name.
I wonder if that isn't one of those names that's just passed down for forever, though.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where it's I'm gonna be really on the nose about how I name this character.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason why the Order of the Wall is monitoring her is not only because she's a bastard of a nobleman who may or may not be royalty, but I'd love it if she were a Disney princess. That'd be amazing. But the other thing is that Pastor Nick makes the comment of she probably has more answers than I can give you.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe the key to unlocking the secrets of this world and its history and how the world came to be this way lie with her. So
Could be.
If that's the case, I get naming her Historia, but it's still a dumb name.
She's like the keeper of all the secrets of the history.
Of the history of the world.
Realistically, I think it's that certain things sound cooler to
In
a
Japanese.
non-English speaker. Gentle uterus. That sounds really cool in Japanese. Not so much.
What?
That's like Sailor Star Healer's attack, I want to say. It's one of those Sailor Starlights has an attack literally called Gentle Uterus. Okay.
That's amazing.
One of those moments in my life where I really need context.
I was gonna reference Tuxedo La Smoking Bomber, but I was like, I'm just gonna go all out. I'm just gonna
Just do it.
I never
Andrew
watched
Finch.
Stars. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew
Sailor
Finch in
Stars was a
chat
good time.
says Krista isn't a Disney princess until we get at least 3 songs.
And birds.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, that would be
She sings and Titans dance in circles around her.
Hey man, I'd be fine if that was her superpower.
And Attack on Titan Abridged,
Choreographed horse tossing.
they make a point of bursting into song every now and then.
That's true.
Just saying, guys, make it happen. Make it happen in season 2 of the Abridged series. The only other thing I want to point out before we kind of delve into predictions in iTunes is talking about Eren just when they came back. Again, that sense of bravado. He hasn't killed a Titan outside. He hasn't killed a Titan outside of his Titan form. So
no, I know. I love that he literally he's like, yay, I killed something.
I got one.
What, does everything else just not count?
Oh,
Okay.
He probably thinks
You nerd.
of being in his Titan form as cheating. All the Titans that he's killed in his Titan form, that doesn't count. It's not really him. It's not applying any of the skills he learned in school.
Yeah, except that you're not really good at the skills you learned in school, so maybe you should focus on being a Titan, which you're
Be
actually
the best
kind of good
Titan
at.
you can be.
Maybe you should just focus on being a giant rage berserker. That seems to be going pretty well for you.
Let the hate flow through you.
Just Hulk it out, man. It works great for Bruce Banner. I'm sure that it'll be good for you too.
He turns to Mikasa and he's like, "That's my secret, Mikasa. I'm always angry." And then he turns into a Titan.
That's my secret. Titan.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about real quick?
Nothing I can think of.
No,
off the
I mean, again,
top
it was
of my head,
these
but I'm
last
very happy.
couple episodes have been very, even though this one was mostly a flashback, it was still pretty linear and straightforward and focused on one storyline
Yeah.
instead of jumping back and forth between people like we did for the first few episodes of this season. So yeah, it was,
It was great.
Krista and Ymir.
Feisty Krista is adorable.
Yeah,
like that
love
moment
her.
where she's cheering her on and gets caught in mid cheer.
Yeah.
It's just the cutest thing I've ever
It was
seen.
just great to see like that Krista is also in love with Ymir. Like Ymir's clearly in love with Krista, so that's just my
These two
feeling
kids
about it.
These two crazy kids, maybe they can make it work.
They might just get together.
Assuming Ymir isn't carted off to jail.
One's a
Well-
princess, the other's a titan. It's a Beauty and the Beast story.
Tale as old as
Hey.
time. I would watch that movie.
I like it.
All right. Well, really quickly, before we go into predictions, I want to talk to you guys really quickly about iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, thank
have
you
it open.
so much
So
to
do
everybody
I.
who's gone to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you, and it is the best way to let our producers know that you guys like the show that we're putting on. Keeps the lights on here at the studio, keeps us at these fancy desks. And if you guys do leave a comment, you may even get a shout out on the show. Since you both have iTunes pulled up, Emma, do you want to do one? Katie, you'll do the next one, and then you do the
Yes,
the
because
final
there's
one?
three
Oh,
in
no.
total.
Dibs on the top one. It's got my name in it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll read the first two then.
Go.
So this one says, different scouts, same great quality from Reflex 123. The host lineup has changed a bit since season 1, but if anything, the energy of the panel is even higher. I love this after show so much. I have gone, oh God, where is it? Only to realize I'm a day early. I can't wait to see what they think about the latest episodes.
Because we used to be on Sunday.
Yeah. The next one is a great way to reflect from Shadows 1192. The podcast is fantastic, and the hosts are what helps the podcast shine. It is the perfect companion to the show and a great way to spend my commute to work. I love being able to reflect on the episodes and listen to new theories. Even though I know where the series is going because of the manga, it's fun to listen to their speculations. 11 out of 10 would recommend.
Aw.
And then from Ace Trainers 97, we have Form Volt. Wait, wrong show. I guess if you want to assemble a crew talking about giant things fighting other giant things, this is a team you want to put together at AfterBuzz. Absolute blast for this to be back. And while a few of the old crew have left since the first season, the energy is still here. From Katie's terrible puns that warrant a boo from the others to the fan theories that traumatize Alexis and make her want to curl up in a corner, there's a lot of fun to be had here on this after show. Thank you.
You guys are so sweet. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Nate on Twitter. That's GameBoyNate17 on Twitter. He says he doesn't have to work tomorrow, so he can actually sit down and watch us live. So if you're still watching, Nate, hello, and thank you for tuning in. Yay. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and delve into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I'm actually thinking that Ymir isn't actually a spy for the Order of the Wall because she made a big deal about how she used to serve other people, but now she only lives for herself. So I feel like she's not. That doesn't change the fact that being a Titan has landed her in a lot of hot water. And I feel like they're going to approach this. I don't know how they're going to approach this because clearly she's not like Eren. But at the same time, it's like how we could use this, but can we trust her?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's like I like how in control she is of her Titan form.
Yeah.
But then again, so was Annie. So
Yeah.
implicitly, I trust her way more than Annie. I don't think that Ymir is bad, because this is the thing, is that like Annie was like truly betraying her comrades. Like she actually fought against them, and as of yet, other than the flashback where we see that Ymir obviously had some past Titan run-in with Bertold and Reiner, she hasn't like gone Titan on her friends.
And even if you just look at the character design, but like at the difference between her and Eren and the female Titan, there's a huge size disparity.
Yeah.
The other two Titans are much more well defined. So like whatever was done to her to make her into a Titan, it was clearly done in a way that, not as precise and like as well thought out.
Absolutely.
She's a gremlin.
Yeah, she's just a teeny tiny little thing.
little gremlin.
Gremlin Titan.
Ankle biter.
she's like weirdly cute.
But she's
little ankle
adorable.
You're right. I don't think she's a spy for the Order of the Wall. I think she's kind of more of a free agent. I couldn't tell you why, but I feel like she has been on her own for a good chunk of time. Also, if we're judging from the preview, looks like things go down next episode.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason I was asking earlier about how this revelation will affect Reiner and Bertolt is because Reiner clearly had a case of PTSD in this moment, and the next episode is called Warrior. I really hope it's not the case because I love him so much. But like, what if he decides to kind of go darkest timeline and try to murder her for what she did?
Yeah, I mean, again,
Like, even if she's not aware of it, like, it doesn't change the fact that their friend is dead.
No, absolutely. And I think that is good storytelling, and there's a strong possibility that could happen. So,
Honestly, if someone's gonna go after her, I'd put it on Bertolt.
Oh.
Beware the quiet one.
I don't know, man. There's something shifty about Bertold. So yes, I feel like he could be the one to go after her, but it wouldn't be in the same like sad rage way as Reiner. It would be like,
Oh no, he would be like sneaking into her room with a vial of poison or something.
Like, yeah, in the dead of night and just do it quietly.
The difference between barbarian and rogue.
sure.
Well, if that's the case, then like obviously Emir's exhausted, but then would she turn into a Titan and try to
Fight back?
Will she get
Would
her
she
limbs
fight
back the
Yeah,
next time
she's-
she turns into a
she's
Titan?
kind of
Because Aaron
little-
did.
Aaron did, but again, there's a difference between the Berserker Titan and the female Titan and the dancing Titan.
Yes.
Is what people
Yeah,
are calling
The
it?
gremlin.
Yeah, that tiny little gremlin. So we don't
And
know
Aaron's
if
a
like,
weirdo.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
if she's gonna, in terms of the lost limbs, if she's got like a get out of jail free card when it comes to that. She might very well have lost those limbs for good.
And we have Hassan in chat saying, "Man, this is like Scream. Who is the Titan / killer?"
Yeah. It really is.
Hello, Aaron. I guess I don't know. Krista.
What's your favorite Titan?
They don't have movies in this world, do they?
No, they don't.
Oh man, yeah. There's no way.
don't.
There's no way a Scream type killer could exist in this world because no one has movies. No one's bored enough to just watch all the movies.
A Titan shows up and it's just a ghost face Titan.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
awful
man.
That'd
elongated
be
jaw and hollow eyes.
But yeah. So I feel like that just about does it this week.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next one. I feel like it's gonna get real dark, real quick.
It's about to go down.
Things are going to capital O occur.
Well, Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can find me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. Iron Fist ends tomorrow, and I almost said Attack on Titan. Arrow.
It also starts with
Robots
an
in
A.
Disguise starts Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Arrow is back on Wednesdays, and Red vs. Blue starts on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Every fourth Thursday, we are working with public releases, not first releases. So episodes 1 through 4. And Samurai Jack, we're in the final stretch. That is Sundays.
Oh,
Super
I'm not
busy.
I'm not on Samurai Jack, but I am keeping up with the show.
you
and
can
it's
still
so
cry
good.
about
it's
it.
so good.
We need to talk about this latest episode.
Oh my
then.
gosh, yes.
And I am a regular on Gather Your Party on Geek and Sundries. That's Friday nights at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry.
Emma Fyffe.
That's me, Emma Fyffe. I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at my name, Emma Fyffe. You can also find me tomorrow and Friday at 8 o'clock a.m. over on Collider Video on their YouTube channel as part of TV Talk. We are doing our beta test of doing TV Talk as a live daily show at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. That is 11 o'clock a.m. or Eastern Standard Time. And I found out 4 o'clock p.m. GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Because we have international fans that wanted to know. So I figured it out because I'm smart. Also, if you want to continue to hang out with me tonight in about just 40 minutes, I will be over at Hyper RPG. That is twitch.tv/hyperrpg doing Honesty Hour. So I'm just basically going to be hanging out with Zach, our executive producer, talking about my life. So you should totally come chat with me. It's going to be a good time. And then on Friday nights on twitch.tv/hyperrpg, check me out on Pencils and Parsecs. It is a Star Wars RPG. It's a great time.
And be sure to follow Alexis at atorres890. Please don't tweet her any spoilers. I don't know if she's gotten a chance to
Yeah,
watch.
she hasn't gotten to see it yet.
So don't tweet her any spoilers, but be sure to follow her and keep up with all of her stuff. I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I write articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2Ks. Be sure to check those out. I'm also on the Shadow Remastered, and we're going to be pretty soon. We're going to actually start releasing unaired episodes. So be sure to like on Facebook to keep up with all of that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Deus Ex Mikasa.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.